Well, I'll tell you, when I first saw this movie, Kurt and I were sitting together, and it wasn't totally put together yet, so it wasn't color corrected. There were certain things they needed to do and balance the sound and everything, and make it the whole finished movie. But the two of us held on to each other and cried.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From the minute you spit the Patsy Cline song. I mean, literally cried. And it was like one of those moments where we thought, what have we just seen? And it was such an extraordinary surprise. I wanted to ask you, when you first chose this script,
I love my mom asking that. This is the best. I don't know if anyone saw Stellan Skarsgård and Alex Skarsgård's Actors on Actors. I was like, that's going to be me and my mom one day. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But I'm so excited. Okay, yeah.
But the question is, when now you see the finished movie, and everything fell together. But when you look at the script, okay, what did you think when you read the script for the first time?
The first thing, it read beautifully, but it was like, this can't be a true story. So I was like, this happened to these people. How is this possible? I mean, the car hitting the house twice, and then I remember that I watched the documentary and I was just blown away by the story and thought, really honestly, just more, I guess, existential of like, parts like this don't come across my desk very often, where I get to, as you know, what I love the most, I get to sing and I get to perform and I get to do all of the things.
What was it that scared you the most? Because some of these movies, sometimes I can know films I've done, I say, I can't do that long speech. It's going to be so hard to memorize. Can you cut it, as a director, can you cut it down? Or, I can't deliver the joke. This is Doc Summer. Can you not give me the joke and just give it to somebody else? So in the film, what scenes were you looking at, just knew that might be a challenge?
The two biggest ones were outside when I'm in the dream sequence and crawling along the grass. That was just one of those scenes that you like sort of go, okay, well, when are we shooting that scene? You kind of work yourself up to it. And that kind of gave me the butterflies. And honestly, the last song for me was the hardest for two reasons. One, it's a very hard song to sing in terms of its register. And then I was so emotional.
Yeah.
So it was like finding control in that was challenging. And we did it, and then we did it once, and then we did it, only shot it twice. And then I had to like go into a corner and like cry for like 30 minutes.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it was beautiful, and honestly, that song was right. So actually, I cried so hard in this movie, and I thought it was going to be comedy. But what would you say this movie is? Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? I mean, is it a love story? Is it a tale?
I think it's like an epic.
Yeah.
To me, it's like the idea that you can take someone's real life that would seemingly seem ordinary, and yet it's epic. It's like you walk down the street, and I do this all the time, where I walk down the street and I'm like, every single person there's an epic in their story, and I think for me, like, I knew it going in terms of what kind of movie it was, but we don't make movies like this as much anymore, where you have this sort of thread of hope that kind of is the line that you're walking, even though you go to these very dark, sad, tragic places, and somehow it's still life-affirming. And then to play a character where you're also holding on to that hope, even though you're going to these sort of dark places. I feel like those movies don't happen very often
Well,
anymore.
they don't happen, but they don't always have you in them. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, it's funny, and timing's everything. But no, because it's the way you interpret the character. It's how you faced who this woman was. You were able to take her and make her cheeky and smart and funny and lovable. And you were able to do this, but you can't do it without Hugh.
No.
And this is the reality. That dance that they did together was so magical because he loved her. He was a very, very sad character. And he embraced that sadness, and your character looked at him with such love. This you can't teach that, guys. You can't. And when you take your transitions, and there were many acting transitions in this movie, is that the two of you thread together so beautifully. And I think this movie is about love. About love of music, is about love of each other. It's about not loving alcohol anymore, so that one was gone. It seems to be the trend these days.
It's also about chosen family too, which was something is very relatable to us, which is Hugh's character is a man who takes on her children, and Mike in real life taking on.
And he looks so much like Kurt. Because actually that's what Kurt did, came into my life and took on our family.
It's a heroic thing to do.
Yeah, and so there's so much wholesomeness in this. And I will say, we need it. We really need this today. And it's important to laugh, it's important to cry, it's important to feel something, because somehow all of us, in many ways than one, are pent up. There's so much that we're feeling that we can't do anything about. But when you go to a theater and you have a performance that actually takes you and enlightens you, rips you apart, you fall in love with, and the writing, thank you, right? Because that's another thing that actors have to look at and go, thank you for these words.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. So if we can only start looking more at the humanity, honey, don't you think?
I do. I do, and Craig's such a great person to do this film because he just there's no cynicism, it is very pure, and it's something like that he really connects to. He took this story. It'd be very easy to mock these people. It'd be very easy to go to a place where you could see what they do or how they live their life and judge it or criticize it. And instead, he found every ounce of love and belief in what they do and what they love and their fandom of Neil Diamond. I mean, even like talking about, having also a backdrop of something to write with for Craig, which was Neil's music. To be able to tell a story through Neil's music was so great.
Exactly. I mean, it really was. It's a musical, basically.
Yeah.
So this is a true musical all the way through. It's celebrating one of the great songwriters of all time. Everything that makes us want to get up and dance and be happy and feel joyful, which was another part of the levels of this film. Which was
so fun, like to be able to fall in love to play me instead of dialogue.
I know.
Like we fell in love singing that song, and then I remember also when we were filming the wedding sequence. I was walking down the aisle. It was one of the first things we did. And it was weird because, like you're saying, like this movie really relied on Hugh and I's relationship, like that love story. I said to Hugh in the beginning, if we don't work, this movie's not going to work.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we had to get really close, really fast. And I remember walking down the aisle and seeing Hugh Jackman with his crazy hair.
Yeah.
And I was just so happy. And I was like, oh my God, I think this works. and then he kissed me, and I was like, yeah, this works. And it was really, we hadn't even gotten into the meat of the story, you know. And then that day we did Sweet Caroline, and the entire crew and the cast, there's so much joy in that room and freedom. There was a lot of freedom in
but
this
you felt
experience.
that. And it went right in through the audience, right here. All the audiences feel that. And that's the gift you're giving. And then, of course, I want to bring it back to Kate. I want to talk about the movie. The movie's amazing, by the way. It's a memorable movie. Not every movie is. There's a lot of good acting around, but there's not memorable movies with a fantastic actress. How does it feel, sweetheart? I feel like Marty Short right now. So tell me, how does it feel?
Wait, what's the name of that character? Jiminy Glick!
Yeah, Jiminy Glick, don't you love him? So, yeah, but that, I mean, I know I've had a few moments in my career, let's put it that way. But when you represent something where people have never seen a movie like that, one of the areas, of course, I was crying for days afterwards, not just for the night. But I remember when I saw Imitation of Life. Yeah. I was, I don't know, 11 or something, and I couldn't, they had to throw me out of the theater. I was crying, I was sobbing, and truly, I've never ever cried at anything more in my life except your movie.
And it was a little more loaded.
And what, no, really, I'm not like that. If it was an okay performance, I'd say, hey, you were great, you know. I mean, really not.
This is true, or they just wouldn't see it. If we're being really honest, there are movies we all have not seen of each other's. It's like, Mom, you don't have to see that.
But you will always be remembered for this, sweetheart. And sometimes we get to make movies where we make that impression because of your depth, your honesty, and the way in which you approach the character. You can't, you're just so pure, so honest. I know Daddy went to the bathroom and he came back because he was a little weepy himself. He said, you might be the greatest actress of all time. And he does not say those things easily.
Yeah, that kind of brought me to my
And it was really something. I mean, we I don't know, Kurt and I just got along better for the first time in our life.
You're welcome.
I don't know how our marriage work. Anyway, so this is like an exciting time for movies, but there's not a movie like this, you know. And so that's one of the areas here that I'm so happy to be here. If you were to choose, because this is so interesting, another kind of movie, meaning that, because we know scripts come around our desk, what is it that gets you going?
Like transformation. It always has. It's just not necessary. I think that How to Lose a Guy was so big and I was so young that it just became like the machine that was desired. And as you know, I like disappear into my room for hours. I would like lock my door and like try to figure out every accent known to mankind and just like play different weird characters. Truth is, I want to transform into different characters. I think that's what was so liberating about this, and like the trust that Craig had in me to just say, yeah, go in, just go, is so nice, because that's what I love to do, you know. And I think part of that also does lean comedic, weirdly interesting. I think in comedy, when I was younger, I mean, you know, improv, you know, it's like, okay, you're Irish, and it's you're an Irish in the famine, and you're like, oh, okay, and you just go in, and like that was always my favorite. That's my favorite thing to do.
See, that's life. What is great about comedy is because we send it up. Yeah, it's really tragic. Comedy is tragic. When you start looking at comedies, I know ones that I've done, I could tell you the story and you'd be crying. So wait, it was funny. I know, but it's really about life. I mean, what happens, for instance, we do a movie like Private Benjamin, what happens when, you get married, you lose your husband on the first wedding night, and then you're so bonded, you're going to join the army. Now, I know that's funny, but I mean, but the truth of the matter is, comedy is built on tragedy.
And I think that part of like what leans to that, and I really have an affinity towards comedic actors. I think they're some of the greatest dramatic actors, and they don't necessarily always get the opportunities to do those things. And I've always felt like walking that line has always been challenging for me because I love getting weird.
Yeah.
Not just in comedy, like and you know, I mean, my mom has always said to me, what do you always say to me?
I don't know.
She says, you're a dramatic actress. You always say that to me. You're really a dramatic actress.
Yeah, but you got funny.
But I got so funny.
You got funny.
And so I think that like part of for me moving, like, yes, I want to transform. I see certain characters and I'm like, I want to play that totally, completely different than anything that I am.
Right. I think that this is probably, one of these moments in your life where you find the right circumstance to show your extraordinary talent. People say to me, God, where did her voice come from? It's unbelievable. She can sing. She sang all her life. When she was little, closed her room, did all kinds of Duran Duran and whatever you want to see. And you always sang. You always wrote music. You always were doing this. So I guess my question is, do you like acting or singing better? It's fair, I mean, it's like, are they or is it the same?
It's kind of the same.
I know.
Aren't they in the same? Like someone on the carpet Sunday asked, like, what did she say? Pork, marry, or kill. That was the nice way of saying it. Dancing, singing, or acting, and I was like, not playing this game. Like, there's no way I could. I mean, you're the one who instilled this in me.
Well, you were the first picture I took of you. Daddy and I took it. You were on your tricycle and you were 3 years old and you were like this. That was it.
I mean,
and that's when I knew. So you're also a performer.
But you said from the beginning, because I was always declaring I'm a performer. I'm a performer, mother. Great, go to class. But I need to perform. Yes, go to dance class. I don't want to go to dance class, but you're going to dance class. You instilled discipline in me. And I think that sort of sometimes feels, I think from the outside looking, it sort of feels like, maybe if you grow up with parents like you and Pa, that it's sort of like, oh, it's just like an easy thing. But you actually were the opposite parents. It was like, this is a craft. You take this seriously. You've said that to me from a very early age. When I was getting a little boy crazy, you were like, nope, you're going to Williamstown Theater Festival. And I was like, I am. And you're like, yep, it'll be the best time of your life. And you were right. And I was always in a theater company. I was always in theater class. I was always doing my piano lessons. I was always in dance class, dance movement. And you made that. You instilled that in me. And that discipline, even when I didn't want to be doing it, becomes the thing as you get older and you realize that you really love it. It's like you never take it for granted. You know what I mean? You never take the fact that the privilege of having a mother who was like, go. But you have to do these things and you have to take it seriously because it's a real art. That is how I grew up.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there was non-negotiables, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
dance was really nice.
It is. It's really quite something to witness your child show such extraordinary ability. It's definitely talent, but it's also integrity. Integrity in your work. I didn't kind of take one lie in your work. You are so immersed. I know actresses sometimes who carry their characters around with them. And
you want me to carry more of Claire?
No. But I had one time when I couldn't shake her, and that was Sugarland Express. How do you feel about that?
When about me carrying,
and Claire,
or other people carrying their character?
Well, let's start where you want.
Okay. I think that you guys taught me, since we are a family first family, that you have to really figure out how to leave your work on set. That being said, when I love a character, it's so sad to leave the character. And this movie, I'll never forget thanking, at the end, and we were all saying goodbyes, and I wanted to say something, because I loved everybody so much, and I just couldn't get anything out. I was so sad because it was one of the great characters to play. I mean, she gave me so much, and Claire was such a privilege to play her. I'm so, I literally couldn't get anything out. I was like, and everybody was we just had one big hug, and I don't know, these are the things you live for, because you realize very early on in a career that you have these great experiences, but they might not translate on screen. And I came out the bat with Almost Famous. It was this amazing whirlwind experience, and it was like a more of a welcoming to the industry on crack, on steroids. It was just whoa, what just happened? But now, 26 years later, it's it takes on a different feeling, and now I sit here and I get to talk about Claire, and I get to talk about the movie, and now I'm sad because I know that it's going to come to another end soon. But I get to celebrate her longer, and it's.
I totally understand. It is really it's a character that you embrace so in your cells. It really is part of your cellular structure. I felt that with not every movie, but a few, and it's pretty strong.
Mommy, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What was it like for your experiences when you were on the circuit and you were getting nominated for things, or Golden Globes, or what was the world like then? Did you do all of this and have your Q&As, or was it a different experience?
No, well, the main thing was my dress. That's where it was. And you were always there looking at them, Versace, and coming and dressing me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was very different. It's very different. I mean, right now we have so many ways to see things, outlets. I don't know where stars are anymore, to tell you the truth, real movie stars. I consider you one of them. And there are some, I don't mean to put anybody down, I'm just saying that there's so much content out there that it's very different. I don't want to say diluted, but it's not a bad word. Back with the time when I was at my peak, we were in theaters, and that was a big movie. We saw ourselves big. And I remember Jack Nicholson, when we started going into smaller theaters, Jack said, I'm not going to small theaters. And I said, Jack, you have no control over this. I like what you're saying, because we're bigger than life, motion pictures, big screens, and you didn't have choices here, there, and everywhere to go see. You didn't get to stay home. It was an event. That's how I grew up. And that means that when you do a comedy, for instance, you hear excuse my French, shitload of people laughing. You know how great that feels? You know how contagious that is? When people are in a room, and sometimes I would go sneak into the back of the theater just to hear the laughs, because that made my soul feel happy. You can't do that now. You know, yes, they have laugh tracks. Okay, that's in order to get you laughing. But when you are in a big, huge room like this or a big theater, and you hear people laugh, it's like the kiss of God. A joy is that. So what in the world now we're looking at is so different. And Kirk just says blah blah blah. I say, hey, well, you know what? It's different. It's all different. So this is where we are today. So when you see big, like in the old days, the big Clark Gables and the Warren Beatties and Jack Nicholson, that big smile, I mean, you don't get the same hit. So movie stars have become something of, it's not quite as exciting. But boy, back then it was very exciting. So that's different. That's different.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, so that's I guess that's a wrap.
I guess then the moral of this is we need to get people back in the theater. That is a great goal in life is to make movies that bring that kiss of God back to the experience.
Where we are all together. There's no loneliness in a movie theater. People are lonely today. Why aren't we meeting in these places that actually can create sort of like an experience, an emotional experience, exciting, all of it. This is who we are as humans. We possess all kinds of emotions. Some of them we don't like, and other ones are actually part of what makes us good and happy and flourish. So that's the way I feel about movies today, and I want to see more movies, and I will see this one again and again because it fills me with so much joy, and you shocked the hell out of me because I did not know you lost your leg. Then I'm trying to go, wait a minute, don't get your daughter mixed up with this one. She didn't lose her leg, Goldie. It's not real. But that was weird too, because, all right, so what did they do? Where was the other part of your leg?
I wore a green sock.
Oh, the sock.
Yeah, I wore a green sock, and I had about 3 hours of prosthetics.
Right.
And so they were amazing. They did a whole mold on my leg.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
The special
Did
effects.
your leg get claustrophobic?
Oh, Mom. If you knew my mother like I know my mother, that's such a mom comment. No.
Because when they put one on my face, I thought I was going to die.
Oh, no. Oh, well, you had to have all of the air into your suit.
The fat suit.
Yeah, you had to have the
fat suit.
The thing and the thing. Anyway, no, I had a green. And then at times there was another leg, and so I would have to kind of, a lot of like the scenes in the bed, I'd have to kind of be in the splits. So a lot of those scenes, I'm actually like, thank God thank God you put me in dance class. But I'm like in the splits, and yeah, it was
Well,
interesting.
it's a little bit of a, sort of a, what do you call it, choreography.
Yes.
Choreography, to be able to figure out how to work your legs.
Yeah, and by the way, it actually was like, and even the body movement of watching Claire. I watched, her in the documentary, and then in real life, and how she walks, and it is dance,
Oh,
and
totally.
and another thing before we go, because I think we're gonna go, but another thing that was the choreography was really was Amy, our DP, and our camera operator, and me and Hugh in those scenes. It was like this sort of impromptu choreography that was happening with a relationship with the camera, with me, Hugh, and the camera, in those numbers. That was, a lot of it just happened. It wasn't like rehearsed. And
you were so into the character and organic in terms of just being part of what the scene is, rather than necessarily following, sort of line. It's wonderful when you can fly like that in a scene.
they gave us all the abilities to be able to do it.
Honey,
Yeah, Val.
no one will ever forget you. And that's what my mother said to me.
I'm so happy my mom came to do this. I love you, Mom.